We're here from Arrow-Ace.
I'm Bastet. I'll be running your operation to investigate the unusual occurrences that have been happening everywhere recently.
Stay out of Antiborough. Stuck in time loop.
I guess it's a ghost plumbing situation.
Bastet has got us out of a lot of problems, but I don't think she can get us out of this one.
It wasn't all the bodies. There were 2 bodies.
Everyone else just got disappeared.
I went missing for a while and I lost my brother. I don't know where he is.
Oh, that's my mother. Oh dear.
It's the same mother that you keep describing as tyrannical and horrible.
Have to practice ritual fight with brother.
Ellie, can I make an insight check of myself but in real life?
An actual play podcast made with actual Aromantic. We are a group of people who identify as somewhere on the aromantic and or asexual spectrum, playing 5th edition D&D with a twist. Every character's past, present and future is based on a card drawn from the deck of many things. I am Ellie, I use they them pronouns, and I will be your DM today, your demisexual...
Motorbike wanders came past my house very loudly. Sorry, Chloe.
Mandible.
I think we've done that one before, specifically because this has happened.
Yeah, it seems to happen only to you, Katie.
What about Marimo? They're the little moss balls.
Microscope, as we said in the previous episode.
No! I know what it must be. Very quick context is that I'm doing a stream, which by the time this comes out will be in the past. In the stream, someone is playing a stoat, so I will be a demisexual mustelid.
Excellent.
Oh! It's my new favourite word.
That's a good
It's such
word.
a good word. Go ahead, peeps.
It's me.
Yeah.
First
Bingo.
time for everything, baby!
I was looking at skate trails, you guys.
Ah!
My name is Am. I play Tosia Atherdale, the party fighter and barbarian. We both use she, her pronouns, and she's excited to reconnect with an old friend. It's nice.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Chloe. I play Raina Riftwood, the Tabaxi Bard / Rogue. We both use she, her pronouns. And Raina thinks that everything we're doing today is a really bad idea. But we're doing it.
I'm Eiriol. I use she, they pronouns. I am playing Delphi, the Growfoot Warlock who uses she, her pronouns. Delphi got blasted through a door. I love how many times Delphi has come into a place and then immediately left. Within 8 seconds of each other. Went through a door, went through another plane, came out of the plane, came out of the door.
You just love portals.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Morgan, who's our wizard, and Morgan is secretly a little bit disappointed she didn't get to do any blasting herself, and that it isn't turning into a fight, because she has lots of cool fighting things that she wants to
We're
try
here to
out.
get information.
Yeah, but Morgan saw the violence and it awoke something in her.
Is the big bad gonna be Morgan? Is that what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to take Morgan down.
It's Morgan from 50 years in the future.
That just reminds me of that time that you were all talking to Bastet and Morgan was like, I don't love or relish property damage.
Roll a
It's like,
deception check.
Deception check? Okay, what happened last time?
Delphi got blasted.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
We tried to break into a house and there were people in it and Delphi got blasted out of the house and now we've talked our way into the house.
We successfully broke into a house. We just also...
You successfully broke into a house.
You just immediately exited.
Yeah, Delphi was broken out of the house as well.
And more importantly, we found Hugo Moonerin and Alfalfa Robin and Seamus and also some other Forgeborn in the house.
Co-conspirators
Yeah.
of whatever the conspiracy is. I've got to admit, out of character, I've forgotten why we were looking for Hugo Moonerin beyond some kind of Arrowace connection.
He's hiding information or concealing information from Arrowace or not sharing it or something. But Bastet, in classic Bastet fashion, was not very forthcoming on the details.
And okay.
We are probably most likely on the side of Hugo Moonerin, but it's good to it's you know.
Yeah, we're pretty anti-Bastet right now, and we're very neutral towards Hugo Moonerin because we don't know anything about him. So we'll see how the chips fall.
Exactly.
Cool.
It's the meme where it's like, Thingy isn't dead to me, this is my new best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, all we know so far is that he seems to be allied with the Forgeborn and the fact that they are people and want rights for being people. So that's a pretty big tick in the pro box, I would say.
I would agree.
I've realised that other people do, like, very, like, deep and winding conspiracies and stuff, and, like, I feel like the way that I set up worlds is very similar to my actual worldview, which is, like, if you pay attention, then the people who are on the right side of history tend to be really obvious. So, we ended last episode with Dr. Hugo Moonerin stepping forward and introducing himself and saying, "What does Arrowace want with me now?"
Well, we would love to tell you that. Unfortunately, if you have any experience with Arrowace as much as we do, you'd know that we don't really know. What Bastet has told us is that apparently you are hiding information, and I do air quotes, or concealing information, and she doesn't like that. And that is literally all she would tell us, so we're a little bit suspicious.
Right, yes, that makes sense.
Sorry, can you introduce... hi, sorry, we haven't actually introduced any of ourselves. I don't know who any of you people are. Except you.
Good point.
I'm Raina. Hi.
Hi, I'm Delphi. Sorry about earlier. Honest mistake.
I think the tabaxi, like, kind of gives you some sulky side-eye. We know about you, Tosia. Seamus has mentioned you, and I assume that Seamus is known to you then, the rest of you.
No, I don't know who this is.
Tosia's eye twitches a little bit.
I'm Morgan, by the way. Morgan Serenity. You may have heard of me.
I mentioned Seamus when we saw the picture.
Oh, so you're Seamus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Seamus, everyone, Seamus.
Yes, that is me. Correct. Toz, you'll notice as well that Seamus looks different to how you recognise them. Obviously, a little bit older. They've always been, like, tall and kind of adult size because that's how the Forgeborn are kind of made generally.
Yeah.
But you will notice that whereas before they looked quite sort of typical for a kind of like brawny or fighter type Forgeborn, they now have a like Tony Stark style sort of cylinder of glowing green, like right in the middle of their chest, and then like vein-like shoots of
sick.
green kind of running through the bark of their body. So they have clearly retained some kind of mark of the Leshy after your adventure together.
You look awesome.
Oh, so do you?
Oh no, it's okay.
Autistic people try to reconnect after years.
Yeah.
They kind of look you up and down and they're like, no, you are taller and stronger.
Yeah.
That is nice to see.
That's how age works.
For most people. Not for everyone, though.
It's good to see you doing this thing. We have questions. Delphi wants to ask questions.
Yes.
She's making a face. A question face.
Yeah, there's questions that need to be asked. Sorry. This is very cute to see, but business first.
I think that you should introduce yourselves a little more fully than that.
Good point.
This is the Tabaxi talking in a voice that I've just tried to make now, which I don't know what I'm doing.
It's Ellie's voice, apparently.
Yeah.
You know what? No. American. I'm gonna make them American.
Oh.
Make them Texan.
Do Nate's voice.
No, I will make them Texan.
You can give them a foghorn accent.
Yes, the tabaxi pipes up. I think it's important that you introduce yourselves. I don't know anything about any of you, and you're in my space.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tosia. I'm a childhood friend of Seamus's. Okay, so we technically work for Arrow Ace, but to be honest, we're kind of moving away from that. We're suspicious of them, some things they may think and be up to. But the world is in danger, and we're trying to stop that from happening, and now I will let my compatriots introduce themselves.
Yeah, there's this whole plane thing going on. I don't know if you've noticed, but time's broken. I'm a time guy, by the way, researcher of.
I'm a time boy.
I want that on a t-shirt. I'm a time guy.
I'm a time guy, by the way.
This whole party is so autistic.
There's this conference in town that I'm in town for, unrelatedly. Felicity, my friend outside, is also she's a time and space kind of
She's
person.
a plane guy.
Plane guy, yeah.
I see. So you're a wizard then?
Do you know anything about... This is something that with Dr. Ursan is doing something, I think it's tomorrow now. I have a vague feeling you might know something about that because they didn't seem very pleased about you.
Yeah, she doesn't like you.
Are you affiliated with her at all?
We exchanged one conversation and I'm going to her talk. So no.
I'm gonna just get him to roll an insight check.
I'm telling the truth.
I know you are,
Whether they believe that.
but he doesn't know that. Hugo narrows his eyes and looks a little unsure, but Alfalfa kind of nudges him and says, the house wouldn't let them in if they didn't have good intentions. Or unless they're, like, super powerful or something.
Oh, that's how that works.
Oh, well.
It didn't seem like your spell was particularly discerning. Yeah.
That's because we all have good intentions.
I messaged Delphi and I go, Delphi, this is working in our favour. Please don't screw it up.
Alfalfa kind of narrows his eyes and is like, and what practice of magic are you affiliated with then?
Oh, I'm not a wizard. I can't read like that.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
No, I can read, just not wizard stuff. That's ridiculous. I'm a warlock. I'm a follower, a patron of the Delphi. Which is why it's so easy to get inside. I think that's probably the thing of, like, you know, it's not hard for me to get in anywhere.
Raina raises her eyebrows because I don't think you've ever actually said this.
You have not said this.
Said that out loud.
It's just natural at this point. You saw, I just came back. Like, it's not...
Alfalfa looks, like, incredibly curious at that answer and is like, okay, well, maybe we can have a conversation about that later. I'd be very interested to talk to you about that. I generally don't have a lot of time for wizards, but, well, Hugo is teaching me to be a little bit more tolerant of them.
I also don't have any time for wizards. That's a big mood.
I should introduce myself.
It's not worth it.
I thought you said you were a wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Which means I have to talk to wizards all the time. Nightmare.
I see. Well, I'm Alfalfa. This here's my place.
It's very nice.
Lovely place.
You can call me Alfie. I don't think I need to introduce Seamus or Hugo to you. Then this here is Lunaris and some of our compatriots. I assume you know why we're all here then, if you've managed to track us down.
You're having a pro-Forgeborn rights, anti-Forgeborn powwow, secret conspiracy, possibly illegal, but...
What Morgan's trying to say is we don't really know, but we simply found the information that you were having this meeting here and we were looking for Dr.
Yeah,
Munavin.
we found your stick.
You broke into my house?
We didn't break
We
it.
heard a baby or a small animal in distress and felt it was our civic duty to investigate.
No!
Deception check! Deception check!
Can I help by being like, yeah, there was like some baby birds that we found in the chimney that had been abandoned. So we had to look after them.
Morgan is shaking her head.
Delphi doing the same.
That's an 18 on, like, that's an 18.
Oh my god.
I'm not that bad a liar.
Okay, we didn't have to lie about this, guys.
Tosia panicked.
And his insight is really, like, he's not rolling well for that. So he looks at you and he's like, okay, well, I guess that's fine then. Well, no, it still doesn't excuse it.
Look, last time that I was trying to find an academic who no one had seen in a little while and no one would tell me the location of, they turned out to be dead in their own house. So it was like...
We did genuinely think you were dead.
Oh, God, yes, Dr. Delaware.
Yeah.
You thought I was dead?
We were concerned.
I mean, no one said you were dead, but, like, no one was willing to talk to us about you, so it's, yeah.
Yes, that rather makes sense. Well,
But you're not, so it's good.
I thought that not nice academic person had maybe murdered you or something.
Yeah.
are you talking about Dr. Ursan?
Yeah.
We didn't have any evidence or anything. Which just, it already happened once, so it's fresh in our minds, and we thought maybe it'd happen again.
And we didn't break anything. I just walked in. Like, it's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to need to update my security, I guess.
No. Like, you're fine. You don't need to worry about it.
No, you should update your security. Everyone should.
Come and sit down. Come and sit down. I'll,
But then how am I going to break into the house?
Raina puts her head in her hands in despair.
He's like, come take a seat and we'll, I'll fill you in a little bit. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what it is Arrow Ace want from me, but it's likely that they have interpreted my lack of communications to be hostile. Essentially, I stopped working at the university recently because I was ousted. I wanted to present my findings, which are, well, I don't even want to call it unconventional research methods, really, because I don't think it's that unconventional to go out into the community and ask for anecdotal evidence and to present it as such. I'm not attempting to skew statistics or say that anything that I have written down is proven fact, but I just think that there are communities that we aren't reaching that have a different perception of time to us, and that their contributions would be valuable in this field of research. Unfortunately, the staff and the board at Brawl were having none of it, and so decided to slap a false charge on me and have me barred from my position. So, yes, I guess I don't work at the university anymore.
That sucks. Well, no. A blessing, maybe.
Who were you talking to that they were so unhappy about?
Well, these folks here.
I wasn't at the rally. I don't know what's going on.
She barely knows that Forgeborn exists, so...
I learned about Forgeborn today. We're getting there.
I won't bore you with the research, but suffice to say...
Good pun.
Yes. This is quite serious. He looks at you, she's like, what? And then he continues, suffice to say that these communities experience time differently. Well, I don't know how much you know about the history of the Forgeborn, particularly in this city as their city of origin.
Why don't you just assume we know nothing and start from there?
Okay, well, Morgan I know already knows because she's been studying here, but they were created by wizards in the university, funded through a variety of sources, particularly getting a lot of funding from Navrosh and other places with, well, let's be frank, military interests. But this was happening alongside, but separately to the building of automatons, and whereas the automatons were built by artificers, therefore just being little machines, because of the magic imbued in the Forgeborn, they gained sentience, and there's been a fraught conversation about rights and ownership ever since.
Okay.
The university, certainly in the past, have viewed it as an institution that has genuine interests in progress and enlightenment, particularly close-minded about this issue, probably due to funding from interested parties. I think they have no desire to change their stance on Forgeborn. Therefore, as a result, Forgeborn are not allowed to study there. They are not allowed to have anything more than sort of custodial roles, and magical experimentation on Forgeborn is still very much legal. I and my colleagues here are setting out to change this, obviously, and I wanted this to be a positive first step in a circle that I can make a change in. It's too much to suggest that, I can change the law overnight or anything like that, but I wanted to show my solidarity and interview them. I also got to know Alfalfa at around the same time, and there is a coven of witches just to the north of Braw, and as I'm sure Morgan will tell you, wizards can be quite singular when it comes to magic use. They tend to be a little more respecting of magic that comes from within an institution rather than without. Frankly, there's not been enough research done into witchcraft and how it works and how we might use these methods to help people. But Alfie was particularly interested in contributing to the time research as essentially a divination witch.
So you say that Forgeborn here, you and I sort of turn to Lunaris and the other Forgeborn, and they go, you experience time differently? Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. So the main thing is that because we don't age, we experience time differently. But something that we've only really been able to put language to recently is that some of us retain sense memories of the wood that we're made from.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and again, it's not been sort of widely documented or widely researched because we're not an interesting or financially viable research case for a lot of researchers. It's also been noted that some of the older of us are continuing to grow rings around the existing bark that we have used, and we're not sure how this is going to affect our physicality as we get older, how it's going to interact with the metal. And in fact, she looks curiously at you, Delphi. You are from the forest, the spicy forest.
Karate, yes.
In the west. Karate, yes. How does it work for you? Maybe it's the same.
Hey everyone, it's just me interrupting your podcast listening to tell you all about our Patreon, where you can get access to all of our bonus content, both past and future. You can get access to side quest episodes, our 30-minute talkback episodes, table talk, or you can chill out with our cast cozy corner. You could even get a seat at our monthly one-shot table. Plus, all of our patrons are shouted out at the end of every episode. There's even stuff for free on there. So go to patreon.com/Deck of Many Aces and get exploring.
Well, do you have to prune? It is important for us to be able to move and to grow effectively, that we're not leaving our bodies to just grow out of control. We prune the joints to make sure that they still move properly and we're not limited in our range of movement. Many people will plant metal under their skin to, like piercings that people have. It's just a thing that people like to do, but the wood grows around it.
Pruning. One of the Forgeborn in the back, like a slightly smaller Forgeborn who looks like maybe she was built more for like house help, looks really excitedly at you when you say that and starts like scribbling furiously.
Delphi will take out the pruning shears that she has on her at all times and is like, it's an important thing, but it's what we use. And you collect your prunings and we have a celebration every year. We plant them with the tree and we give back what it's given to us. It is. But we live for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And I've never heard of anyone. There occasionally, if you use the wrong metal, you can get iron poisoning, whether the iron seeps into the wood. It mainly only happens with certain people, and as long as you use the right stuff, it's fine.
This is so invaluable. No one's ever thought to tell us that before. I think we grow at a slower rate to you, and, well, as far as Dr. Munarin and Alfie have been able to gather, it seems to be from the residual magic that's coursing through us rather than a kind of a natural growing.
What's not natural about that?
Forgive me, yeah, you're right, that's a bias coming in.
You grow slower, but you grow in the same way, and you don't age in any way, which is unlike us. So we are different, but you would, it would be the same as any other person, really. I think I'm not the best person to talk about it. I only know what I've been taught, as all grow folk are. There are people who know a lot more about how it works.
Perhaps there is a home for the Forgeborn in Kalrati.
You'd be welcome. We do not have the same issues that you have here of people being treated not as people. Which is straight. I don't understand how you can do that even.
It's as puzzling to us as well, believe me.
Yeah, you would be welcome.
Thank you.
I can't unwelcome you, I think is more the thing. I don't think anyone can.
Thank you. It would be far to go, and I don't know if we'd be able to convince everyone, and more to the point, I don't know if we should have to, but it's good to know that there are options available. Anyway, that's the history lesson.
Time and planes and the world potentially imploding. We don't know.
God of Time might be dead.
Oh, the God of Time?
Yes.
Might be dead. Collector?
Yeah, Collector.
Collector's been a bit weird recently.
Very absent for the most part.
Gosh. I knew that there were murmurings among some of the religious communities that perhaps they'd gone elsewhere or were missing in action, but can a god die?
Yes. Definitely.
I don't know.
You say that very confidently.
I've not killed one, but I know that they can die.
How? How do you know that?
What?
I don't know. I don't know why, but I know it.
Delphi just knows stuff. Anyway, the problem with Arrow Ace really is more innocuous than it seems. I'm not trying to hide anything from them. I'm not telling them this research because I don't know how they'll respond to it and whether they'll consider it valid, whether their business interests will have anything to say about it, or whether they will want it to be edited or amended, and I'm not prepared to compromise on my research.
Well, what is your relationship with Arrow Ace? So you work for them as well?
Yes, I've been a researcher for them for, well, many months now, possibly even longer than you have. I was one of the earliest people they brought on. This was back in the early days when they just needed some plain divination to try and understand what was happening. Obviously, it's much clearer now that it's time-related and a little bit more urgent than perhaps we previously thought, but I'd been conducting research for them.
So did Bastet or whoever is sort of you're answering to, did they ask you specifically to research something? Or is it just a blanket kind of, tell us your research?
They asked me to use my divination tools, augury, that kind of thing, to attempt to understand what was going on. I believe that they employed some clerics as well at the earlier point of the research to try and get some communication from upstairs as to what is happening and why. But shortly after this started happening, my research took me to the Forgeborn and to the witches, and, well, yes, I haven't intentionally kept it from them. It's more that I've just chosen not to share it at this point in time.
Well, it sounds to me like this part of your research at least isn't even anything to do with what they asked you anyway, so it's not relevant. So why would you tell them? That's how I see it.
It is obviously relevant to their interests at the moment, but again, I don't know how much I would be listened to, and, well, believed is one thing, but whether I'd be able to share my findings is another. As soon as I share it with them, I lose ownership over it. And it was my intention originally to present at the conference, but that has been thwarted.
I suppose what I'm getting at is we could very easily and logically, as I see it, go back to Bastet and say exactly that you are simply researching something else right now and that you have nothing new to offer. I also have had a cheeky other idea.
Ooh, I like cheeky Raina.
Something, sneak into the conference, something.
Well, how attached are you to your little presenting slot tomorrow?
I don't want to say that I have things of importance to present, but I absolutely have things of more importance to present. Like the entirety of what happened to the city of Antibrook.
Yeah.
I only have like a 20-minute ad hoc lunch slot. I think I do need to use that.
Yeah. Well, my only idea was that perhaps we could sneak Dr. Moonerin in to present his ideas anyway.
I think that I would like everyone... I think that whatever Dr. Ursun's got cooking up is going to be a game changer of some capacity. Or entirely incorrect. It might all be entirely incorrect. If she's got something that is as big news as she's claiming it to be, I think we can't really make any permanent decisions until we've heard it.
I am very concerned that whatever she's got planned, she strikes me as the kind of person who might take a risk in order to show off.
Do you mean a risk in academically or a risk?
A risk. I don't really know what it is that she has planned, but certainly before I was deposed, I caught wind of some things, and I am concerned that the consequences of whatever she is suggesting will be irreversible. I couldn't get any more information out of anybody, obviously, and I didn't want to reveal myself or reveal my hand, but I got the impression that she's not presenting findings. She has something that she wants to demonstrate.
Okay. In which case, I believe that having as many of us as possible on hand might be a good idea.
She
Yes.
said that only her and her very dedicated core team, I say with a bit of derision,
Toz rolls her eyes.
knew anything about it. So I'm wondering if we could find out who this core team is and,
Bribe them?
well, yes, words to that effect.
Is it tomorrow now? Is it tomorrow that it's happening?
It is tomorrow.
Okay.
I can certainly have a look through the old faculty files and give you a list of people who it's likely to be, but I think you're right. Whatever she's got planned, I think... Don't mistake me, I'm not against progress, and I'm not against, a good scientist demonstrating her findings, but Dr. Ursan has, frankly, wealth and power on her side, and doesn't have any sort of checks and balances in place for this. I'm concerned that if, for example, I had wanted to put something forward, I would have wanted to do it openly and have a process. But she's been very cagey about her research. Like you say, only her core team know. And that's not, to my mind, that's not how something this big should be conducted. I think there should be more peer review.
Yes.
We were all aware of the weirdness in space and time and all of this stuff. Have you found
Yes.
anything specific? Or is it just general problems?
I've been recording the experiences of the Warforged and the Witches, which they can speak for themselves. And yeah, Seamus will pipe up and say, yes, the mark of the Leshy has left a profound difference on me. I remember ancient woodland, and I feel somewhere in me the forests of the future. But they change every day. This has always been the case, ever since the Leshy took me as its host. But
The what? Morgan says quietly.
I wave a hand like, don't worry about it.
But It was always there. And now, the forest of the future, I cannot reach it. I cannot see it. And I do not know with certainty that it will exist.
Oh, Seamus.
Does it feel like the forest of the future? Can you identify it? Or is it just the feeling of it being in the future?
What do you mean?
Do you know the trees that are there, that were there, when you felt it? And did you feel them
Yes.
anywhere else? Could you recognize them when they stopped being of the future?
You mean a specific point in time when things changed?
Well, I assume as time went on, you felt it change, as all things do.
Yes.
Did you feel them stop being in the future and start being now, and then go to the past?
Ah, yes, I understand. Yes, that was how it was at the beginning. When I first noticed these changes a few months ago, the trees would change their position in time. I also felt them change place, go to other realms, maybe,
Okay.
other times, other timelines. But now, they are silent.
Okay. That's either very, very good or very, very bad.
It is like the future doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Either the world's gonna end, or time stopped being weird. Because if you can't see them in the future, it may just be that you are not made of things that were in the future anymore.
What?
I am confused, but I assume that
That we stop having time travel and it starts being normal again, and so you will feel the things from the past and the things now, but we stop having the weirdness so
Oh.
that you stop feeling it.
I have. Let me clarify. I have always felt the trees of the future. This is unique amongst the Forgeborn. It is because when I was younger, with Tosia, I was briefly in possession of and possessed by a forest spirit, and since then I have felt the trees of the future. It is normal for the trees of the future to change because the future is always in flux.
I'll take your word for it. That's bad then. Then it's just bad.
Yeah,
it's just
it's just
bad.
bad.
It's likely that the world will end. Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't feel good. I will be honest, it doesn't feel nice.
We'll fix it, I'm sure.
And Alfie pipes up and says, for my part, I am a clairvoyant. So that's, a little bit more clear-cut for me. I do all sorts of different... I read wax, I read tea leaves, palm, I do card readings. Although it's never clear, the answers have been illuminating. We are at the precipice of a potential apocalypse. I'll be real with you. It's not good.
Any clue as to the nature of the apocalypse?
What do you mean?
Like, is this a time collapsing apocalypse, or is it a totally unrelated apocalypse?
No, time.
It just so happens to be.
Just so happens.
Good, I could not deal with two apocalypses at the same
Big
time.
crazy coincidence.
I like the idea that there was going to be a time apocalypse, and then a asteroid hits and it just destroys everything. So it's like, wait, what? I was meant to do this. This is
We do the whole
amazing.
campaign, we beat the time shenanigans,
Yeah,
and then
and then-
Ellie goes, and an asteroid hits and you all die.
Yeah.
End of campaign.
By the nature of clairvoyance, obviously the future changes and it's always in flux, and you can never get a clear answer, but the more frequently I read and the further along we get in all this mess, the more binary the options become, which is that in one outcome, the time shenanigans, whatever it is that's going on, causes some kind of world-ending event. or a door is opened and something new comes in.
Why does that ring a bell?
The second that he says the word door, my gaze snaps straight towards Delphi.
The door opening thing rings a bell. Why does it ring a bell? Smart people, I kind of look at...
Puzzle, crystal puzzle, riddle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about this so much. I literally, for an entire night was thinking about this puzzle. Because shout out to Ouroboros on the Discord, who went through and got all the information, which is, saved me so much time. And, so helpful. Amazingly helpful.
Yes.
Because now I don't know if I solved it. I think it's, one of two options, and I can't tell which one you'd go for.
I'm trying so hard to bite my tongue on the conspiracy board chat. There's a resource out there somewhere that could help you with this.
What?
Talking of which, if you haven't joined the Discord, go join the Discord. It's free.
Go join the Discord. You can chat about conspiracy
and check
theories.
out our free resources on Patreon.
So Toji says, why does the door opening ring a bell?
It was on the crystals.
Oh!
Delphi has a really good memory.
Yes,
She does.
Yes, she
It
does.
says so on her character sheet.
Yeah. I need to write down what I think that the puzzle says, but
Go on, what do you think it says?
I think it's saying that right now time is broken because something broke. Literally. Oh no, it's saying we need to...
I mean, I figured that something broke.
There's something that needs to be done to fix time, which I know is pretty self-explanatory, but also it's specifically what isn't necessarily contained in that riddle, that text. It is just a little bit too vague. And something needs to be opened, something needs to be unlocked. And it's obviously to do with the crystals in the desert. That's...
I'm going to be real, my friend. I am getting no helpful information out of this.
Yeah, neither am I.
Alfie continues and says, I would love to hear more about what you have found on crystals, but essentially, as far as I can see, there are two options, and one of them is the end, and the other one is the beginning, but I don't know what it's the beginning of, and I don't know if that beginning is a good one.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a ship of Theseus problem.
What the heck?
Fantasy ship of Theseus!
I'm canonizing this now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What in the Nine Hells is a ship of Theseus?
It was a story that I'd heard as a kid. The idea
You
is...
have ships in Forest Land?
No, it was a far-off story. I heard it when I was travelling with my dad. If every single thing in the world changes, is it the same thing? And by this, it could be that no, it's not the same, and so therefore you can't see into the future because the future you're seeing into doesn't exist, but there is still a future. It's just so fundamentally different that it can't be connected anymore.
I mean, that's not helpful. I mean, it's not reassuring,
Well, it means
that's
that
the opposite of reassuring, in fact.
The basis is that if you take a boat and you replace every single part, is it the same boat?
No.
If you take the entire world...
Yeah, I get the metaphor. I'm saying that the metaphor is not comforting.
But it means that everything is still the same, it's just that we can't connect ourselves to it.
Okay,
I don't know if this is a helpful line of inquiry.
yeah, this doesn't feel helpful to
Yeah.
me, sorry, Delphi.
Great.
If you kill me and replace me with an identical Morgan...
I don't think that we're going to get the answers tonight. Alfie, maybe it's worth doing another reading while these folks are here, just to get
We could do something, but last time we did it, they started bleeding from their eyes.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that again.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's not. We'll let Alfie and Dr. Munerin do the readings this time, Delphi, I think.
I'm perfectly qualified. What happened last time?
Went blind and kind of mad.
No, hey, we left before we saw what happened in the long term.
That's worse.
I asked them to look at the future of this and takes out the crystal and goes like... And they started...
Oh my god, I'm not touching that
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
That thing's got weird vibes.
Yeah, I know. I think they saw something that they... Not that they shouldn't have, but like, that they couldn't handle and it hurt them. And I don't want that to happen to you. For obvious
I see.
reasons.
Didn't you literally just do that a few days ago?
Yeah, but I did that to me, not to someone else again.
I mean, you still shouldn't do it to yourself, but that's a conversation for another
I'm
time.
not going to. That's all in the past now. I tried it. It didn't work. It's gone. All happy.
Right.
Good.
Okay, so we'll figure out maybe a little bit of divination later, but first and foremost, let's make a plan to sneak some of us into the conference.
I like it.
Deck of Many Aces is Am Chisholm, Eiriol Evans, Ellie Webster, Katie McLeod, and me, Chloe Elliott. Massive thanks to our patrons Nate Scott Jones, Ouroboros, EK Green, Space Ben, Callum D, Ibad, KP, Steph Burke-Stelia, and Sarah. You can find us on social media at Deck of Many Aces or on our website, deckofmanyaces.com. Don't forget to join our Discord. It's completely free to access for everybody. And if you feel so inclined, you can support us on Patreon for as little as £3 a month, where you can get access to our bonus content. If you enjoyed the music to this podcast, you can find it on streaming platforms under Chloe Elliott. Plus, don't forget to check out me and Am on RWD. We have just finished campaign 2 and we'll be starting a new campaign very, very shortly, so do go check that out. And as always, to keep up with what Ellie's up to, go to the link in the episode description to subscribe to their newsletter. That's it from me. Have a nice week. Bye!